Hey, welcome to the How to Podcast series. It's Dave. It's the Daily Dave. Hope you're doing well. Things are going great around here. I hope things are going good for you and your podcast. I'd love to hear from you on your journey as a podcaster. Howtopodcast.ca is a place to find all things podcasting. Great community for you. Meetups, one-on-one time with me if that helps you with your podcast. I'm here. I would love to work with you and help you with your show. Got a new little mini series that I have cooking, and I'd love to get your feedback as I build this out so that I can build it for you. I'm talking about how to grow your podcast. That's a big topic in podcasting. It's almost in every Facebook group room that we go into, and almost every time I meet with a podcaster like, Dave, how do I grow my show? There's podcasts about growing your show. There's a lot of different things that people talk about around growing your show. But I want to bring out some things you might not have considered as a way to grow your show. Yeah, and I paused there as my mind went, oh yeah, that one too. So I'm looking for ideas from you, what you think or what you're struggling with around growing your show, whether you have one episode or 100. What are your growth challenges for your podcast? What are you doing to grow your show? I'd love to hear that. I'd like to bring in little audio snippets of you talking about your growth strategy for your podcast. And to do that, I need you to go to howtopodcast.ca. There's a SpeakPipe link on my website. All you do is click the button, record a message, tell me about your podcast. First of all, make sure you say the name of your podcast and how we find it, your website, all that good stuff. But then give me a question around growing your show or what you're doing right now to grow your show, and I'd love to share that with everyone listening to the podcast, and then give you a shout out and free advertising for your podcast. Come on, let's tell everybody about your show so we can go support you as well. So again, the question is to you, how are you growing your podcast? What are you doing to grow your audience, grow your podcast? Or what is your question around growing your show? You have an option, and I'd love to hear your voice. I know you're out there. I know you're listening, and I know that you have something to either ask or say in regards to growing your podcast. So let's make that happen, okay? So one of the examples of what I'm thinking about talking about around growing your show is a great way to grow your podcast, and this is a sneak peek into what I'm working on right now. A great way to grow your podcast is for you to grow as a podcaster, which means work, means time, effort, putting in the reps, coming to the mic, getting better at your interview skills, getting better at your organizational skills, all the things that go on behind the scenes that nobody ever sees, but take up a big chunk of your time as a podcaster. How are you as a podcaster growing? Because if you're not growing, I can tell you one thing, your podcast isn't going to grow. Not to the extent that you want it to. You need to be growing as well. So that's one little snippet that I'm working on, but I know there's a lot more questions and a lot more comments around growing your podcast, and having your feedback would be awesome. And again, a way to shout out your podcast. So go to howtopodcast.ca, leave me a voice message. I like voice messages because then I can drag them right into the podcast, and we get to hear your amazing podcaster voice right here. And again, you're going to shout out your podcast and your website and your question or comment. So here, I'll do an example for you. Okay, here we go. Hi, Dave. This is Dave from the How to Podcast series at howtopodcast.ca. And you asked the question around growing your podcast. So my question to you, Dave, is how do you grow your audience? Like, how do you get more listeners? I have no idea. I've got 5. and I want to have more listeners to my show because I put a lot of work into this. So if you can answer the question, Dave, how do I grow my audience? That would be awesome. Love the show, Dave. And again, my podcast is the How to Podcast series at howtopodcast.ca. And then you hang up. You hit stop. That's it. That's it. That's not hard, right? You can do that. Oh, come on. You can do that. And I would love to hear your voice. The more voices we get, the better. Because, hey, we don't need another episode of Dave right now. We need an episode of you. The more voices we hear from in podcasting, the better. You have your own view on all of this growth for your podcast stuff, and you're the expert because you're a podcaster. You're like, Dave, I got one episode. I've got 3 episodes. You're a podcaster. You're there. You're doing it. You're doing the thing. So you have ideas. You have challenges. You have thoughts. You have things you're trying. And the more people that we share with, the better. So the new form of AI is not artificial intelligence. It's amplified intelligence. Oh, what do you think? It's not artificial intelligence, AI. It's amplified. It's all of us together sharing our thoughts. It's the new AI, everyone. It's going to take over the world. Amplified intelligence. And what we're going to do is amplify your voice on the show. Tell everybody about your podcast. Share your ideas. Share your questions. Let's steer this ship together. And let's amplify our intelligence. AI, the new AI. I just created it. There you go. Trademark. In progress. Amplified intelligence here on the How to Podcast series. And the only way this is going to work, is you need to respond. howtopodcast.ca. Leave me a message. How are you working through growing your podcast? A question, a comment, and let everybody know about your show here on the How to Podcast series. The series is going to be in April, probably mid to late April, that this will be rolling out. So I would love to have your feedback, your thoughts, and your comments. Thank you for being here. And one other thing as we're going out the door here on this Daily Dave is just a reminder that we do have our regular podcaster meetups at meetup.com. Again, through howtopodcast.ca is the links to come join us. It's completely free. You don't have to pay a penny. Come and meet some of the best podcasters in the world. People just like you with a couple episodes or a couple hundred who are there to help build you up, support you, give you the strength and the encouragement to run full speed into your podcasting journey. We got you, and we'd love to have you there, again, to get your feedback, your thoughts, and have you join our community on our meetup. You're invited to come, and I would love to have you there. We would all love to meet you and build you up. So that's our meetups, howtopodcast.ca. Everything you need is there. And I can't wait to hear from you on your growth strategies for your podcast. Questions and comments, please let me know. Let's build this little mini-series together. Thank you for being here on the How to Podcast series. I really appreciate you. Some great comments and feedback from new podcasters listening to the show, finding the show on different platforms. It's amazing. And you mean the world to me and to the rest of the community here on the How to Podcast series. Thank you for being here. We'll talk soon. Send me your messages. I'm pointing right at you. Yeah, you. No, the one. Yeah, that. Yeah, you. Yeah, with the hand. That one. I need your message. Please let me know. How do you grow your podcast on the How to Podcast series? Talk soon.